My girlfriend screamed, "You chose a server over your girlfriend. Are you crazy?" After I defended a waitress she humiliated. She called me too working class, so I told her exactly who she had just insulted. Don't forget to like and subscribe to follow everything that's coming next. Let's get to the video. My name is Cameron, and I own 3 restaurants in Dallas. 4 months ago, I started dating Harley. She is an interior designer, smart, successful, and when we are together, she's usually great. But there is something I can't ignore, and every day it weighs more. She treats people who work in public service poorly. It's not an occasional thing, it's constant, and it's eating me up inside. My parents worked in restaurants their whole lives. My mother was a waitress for 20 years at a diner on the edge of I-35. My father worked the grill at a downtown steakhouse for even longer. I grew up in the back of restaurants, doing homework at corner tables while my mom finished her shift, watching my dad come home exhausted with burns on his arms from the hot grill. I saw people treat my parents like they were invisible, or worse, like a nuisance placed there just to get orders wrong. When I was 12, I found my mother crying in the car after work. A woman had screamed at her because the steak wasn't the medium rare she wanted and demanded the meal be free. The manager sided with the customer. My mother held it together during the service but broke down afterward. She looked at me with red eyes and said, "Son, never treat people that way. We're just trying to earn a living." I never forgot that. When I was old enough to work, I started by washing dishes. Then I became a waiter, then a bartender. I saved every dollar. I learned the business from the ground up. When I finally had the money to open my first restaurant at age 25, I built everything thinking about honoring their work. Today, I have 3 restaurants, all doing very well, and I make sure my team knows they are valued. No one is yelled at, no one is treated as inferior. So when Harley mistreats servers, it's not just annoying, it's something that hits me deep. The first time was 2 months after we started dating. We were at a boutique clothing store in Uptown, one of those where everything costs 3 times more than it should. I was looking at some jackets while Harley examined dresses. A saleswoman, maybe in her early 20s, approached with a friendly smile. "Can I help you find something?" Harley didn't even look up from the hanger. She just made a hand gesture dismissing her. "If I need you, I'll call." The saleswoman's smile faltered. "Of course, I'll be over there if you need me." Harley continued without looking at her. The saleswoman walked away and I saw her face. She was embarrassed. I felt a strange knot in my stomach, but I tried to convince myself that maybe Harley was just focused on shopping, or maybe she had had a bad day. I didn't want to be the guy who jumps to conclusions because of a single episode. In the car, I tried to bring the subject up lightly. "That saleswoman seemed nice." Harley was on her phone. "Did she do something that bothered you?" She looked up genuinely confused. "Who?" "Oh, the girl?" "No, why?" "You were a bit short with her." "Cameron, I wasn't being rude, I just didn't need help. If I want someone on top of me, I'll go to Nordstrom." She laughed as if it were no big deal. I let it go. First slip up, right? Everyone has bad moments. The second time was a few weeks later. Coffee shop. Busy Monday morning. The line was out the door. 3 baristas scrambling behind the counter. We got our coffees. Harley took a sip and made a face. "This isn't almond milk." Before I could say anything, she was already on her feet, going straight to the counter. I followed because her posture made it clear that this wouldn't be polite. The barista who took the order was a young woman, maybe about 25, looking exhausted. Harley didn't even take her eyes off her phone, just raised a finger. Jennifer waited. Harley finished typing. "Sparkling water with lemon." "Sure. And for the gentleman?" "Regular water, please." "And don't worry, I know it's busy." When Jennifer walked away, Harley rolled her eyes. She walks like she's in slow motion. When Jennifer came back with the drinks, Harley snapped her fingers. I had never seen anyone do that outside of a movie. "Hey, hi!" Jennifer replied from a few feet away, turning to the next table. "We're ready to order." The food was good. Jennifer was clearly trying her best, but Harley complained the whole time. Too much noise, too slow, the steak is overcooked, even though it wasn't. Every time Jennifer came back to the table, Harley found something new to complain about. When the bill came, I took a look. The total was $85. Harley left $92, a 7 or 8% tip. "I'm going to the bathroom," she said. The moment she stood up, I took money out of my wallet and topped off the amount to reach 25%. When Jennifer came back, I handed the money directly to her. "Thank you for your patience tonight." She looked at the money, then at me. "You didn't have to." "Yes, I did." In the car, Harley started talking about how lazy service was ruining the dining out experience. I gripped the steering wheel tight, thinking of my mother, thinking of all the times customers like Harley made my mother want to quit. And yet, Harley is never rude to me. She's attentive, affectionate, asks about my day, always worries if I'm comfortable when we're together. When I mentioned I work in the restaurant business, she thought I was a manager or something. I kept everything vague because I wanted to know if she liked me for who I am, not for the money. But this pattern with service workers is consuming me. Reddit, I need perspective. Is this a real red flag, or am I being too sensitive because of my history? She says she just has standards and that bad service shouldn't be rewarded, but this seems to go beyond that. Update. I'm reading the comments. Many of you are saying that the way someone treats waiters shows who that person really is. That hit hard. The comment about conditional respect. She is nice to me because she sees me as an equal, and when she doesn't see me that way? Update 2. Some asked why I didn't tell her I own restaurants. Honestly, I wanted to get to know the real Harley. I think I'm getting to know her now. Update 1. Damn, I need to write this while it's fresh because I'm still trying to process it. Today I had a business meeting at Risso's, my most upscale Italian restaurant. I was finishing everything up at a reserved table in the back when I heard a loud, familiar voice complaining. It was Harley. She was sitting in the front with her friend, Sloane. Their server was my sister, Haley. Quick context. Haley is 22, just graduated in hospitality management. She's working as a waitress in my restaurant because I told her if she wants to be a manager one day, she needs to understand every role from the ground up. She's been doing very well. Professional, handles difficult customers, learns fast. I stayed where I was. I wanted to see how far it would go. Haley brought water with lemon, the house standard. Harley's voice cut through the room. "I didn't ask for lemon. Don't you listen?" Haley, extremely professional. "Sorry, I'll bring another one, and check if the glass is really clean this time." The glass was spotless. I could see from where I was. Haley brought the bread basket. "This bread is cold. Bring it hot." Haley took it back without arguing. When she returned, Sloane laughed, really laughed. "My God, you can't find decent staff anywhere." I felt my jaw lock. Haley came back to take the order. Harley was on her phone talking without looking up. Haley asked her to repeat the salad dressing. Harley's response? "I said balsamic. If you were paying attention instead of standing there like an idiot, you would have heard." Haley, still professional, "Balsamic, right." I watched my sister's face. She was controlling herself, but you could see the tension in her shoulders. This is the woman I've been dating for 4 months, talking to my little sister like she's trash. The dishes arrived. P, our chef, makes a point of personally preparing everything that goes to the floor when he's on shift. He's a perfectionist. The chicken was golden to perfection. I could see it clearly from my table. Harley cut the chicken, and I knew what was coming next. I've been in this business long enough to recognize when someone is looking for a problem, ready to create one where none exists. This chicken is dry. Haley, even after everything, "I'm sorry about that. I can ask the chef to prepare another one immediately." "You probably wrote it down wrong. Why weren't you paying attention before? This is what happens when you don't listen." Sloane laughed. "No need to send it back, love. I'll eat it anyway. But you should tell your chef to do better." Then Haley asked if she could bring anything else, and that's when Harley said the words that ended everything. "You're all the same. You can't even do a simple job right. That's why you are waiters, surviving on tips instead of doing something real with your lives." I watched the face of Haley, my little sister, the girl who graduated at the top of her class, who is working her tail off to learn every detail of this business, who dreams of opening her own restaurant one day. Her eyes filled with tears, but she blinked fast, holding them back. "I'll get the manager for you." I was already on my feet. The chair scraped the floor. Every instinct in me screamed to stay calm, maintain professionalism. But that was my sister. That was my restaurant, and that was the woman I had been defending in my head for months, making excuses, convincing myself that I was being too sensitive. "Is there a problem?" Harley's face transformed. The cold contempt turned into an open, almost joyful smile. "Cameron, my God, what are you doing here?" She stood up as if to hug me. I took a step back. I asked if there is a problem. She pointed at Haley with her fork, as natural as can be. "The service here is terrible. This girl has been incompetent since we sat down, and now the food is—" "She is what?" My voice came out dry, empty. Sloane, wanting attention, joined the conversation. "Yeah, we've been waiting for everything for an eternity, and she keeps— This restaurant is mine." The words dropped like a bomb. Silence spread across the table. Harley's smile froze. "What?" "I am the owner of this restaurant." I paused. "Actually, I own 3. I put my hand on Haley's shoulder. She was shaking. "And this girl here is named Haley Reed. She has a degree in hospitality management from Texas State. She is learning the operation from the bottom up, because that's how you train a good manager, by understanding every role, every part." Harley's mouth opened, closed, opened again. No sound came out. "But what I want to know is this," I continued, feeling the anger now, cold and controlled. "You just said she does nothing real with her life, that she is you guys. So if she is inferior to you because she earns less, because she depends on tips—" I let the silence stretch. The whole room was quiet. "Then I must be far above you, right? I have several successful restaurants. I'm worth about 5 times what you earn. So, by your logic, you were below me. Am I right?" "Cameron, this isn't—" "Should I start snapping my fingers at you?" I interrupted. "Should I insult your intelligence? Should I say interior design isn't a real job, that you do nothing significant with your life?" "This is different." Her voice was already shrill. "How is it different?" I asked. "Explain it to me then. You work making spaces pretty. Haley works ensuring people have a good experience here. Both are jobs, both require skill, both deserve respect. So what's the difference?" "You're humiliating me in front of everyone," she hissed. "You humiliated yourself from the moment you sat down and started treating my sister like trash. I'm just making sure everyone here knows exactly what you think about people you consider inferior." Sloane tried to intervene. "Maybe we should just—" "You should leave," I said, looking at her. "Both of you, now." Harley grabbed her purse. "I can't believe you're doing this after everything. After everything? We've been dating for 4 months. I cut her off. "And you just told my sister she's worth nothing because she's a waitress. There is no after everything." I walked them to the door. Harley tried to say something else, but I wasn't listening anymore. The anger was giving way to something else. Maybe relief, maybe clarity. That feeling of when you carry something heavy for a long time and finally put it down. After they left, I stood for a moment. The restaurant came back to life, conversations resuming the normal dinner noise, but many people were still looking in our direction. Great, I made a scene in my own restaurant. Haley was still standing by the table, motionless. I went back to her. "Come with me." I took her to my office in the back. As soon as the door closed, she started crying. It wasn't loud crying, just tears coming down while she tried to keep her breath controlled. "Sorry," she said. "I didn't want to cause this." "Haley, no, you didn't cause anything. She caused it." "I've dealt with rude customers before," she said, wiping her face with her sleeve. "God knows I have. But that you guys thing, that part about—" "I know." She took a deep breath. "I wanted to handle it professionally. I knew you were back there watching, and I wanted to show you that I can do it, that I can handle it, that I won't react. And you did. You were perfect. But you should never have to put up with that from anyone." I told Haley to take the rest of the week off. Paid. She tried to argue, but I insisted. "Rest. Take some time. Process this. Come back when you're ready. And as for Harley, there is no more Harley. It's over." Haley hugged me. "Thank you for always defending me." Edit to answer common questions. Yes, Haley is fine. Shaken, but fine. And yes, several waiters came to talk to me afterward saying how much that meant. One of my employees has been in the field for 15 years and said he had never seen an owner do something like that. Update 2. A week has passed and the circus continues. Haley took the week off as I offered, but returned yesterday. The first thing she said to me was, "I'm ready." That just taught me what kind of manager I want to be, one who never lets the team be treated that way. My team has been incredible. The day after it happened, 3 different waiters called me aside separately just to say thanks. P, who has worked with me for 6 years, said, "In 15 years in the kitchen, I've never seen an owner do this. You have loyalty here now." But Harley, my God, Harley, the messages started that same night. "You humiliated me in public. How could you? I was having a bad day. You know I'm not like that. You chose a waitress over your girlfriend."
Have you gone crazy? That last one she sent as if it were obvious that it was wrong, as if choosing my sister she had just humiliated, was the wrong choice. But yes, Harley, that's exactly what I did. I didn't respond. Then came the calls. 3 voice messages, all some variation of, "We can talk like adults," and "I didn't know she was your sister." She said she would never have spoken that way if she knew. In other words, random waiters were fair game. Then mutual friends started meddling. The guy who introduced us called me. "She said you overreacted. Can't you hear her side?" I sent a screenshot of Haley's account telling exactly what happened. There was a long silence. "Yeah, that's pretty bad." The following Wednesday, Harley showed up at the restaurant during dinner, went straight past the host stand and came to where I was checking a table. "Can we talk?" "I'm working." "I want to apologize to your sister." Haley was behind the bar, restocking glasses. She heard. "I don't accept," she said without even turning around. Harley tried again. "I was stressed. I took it out wrong." Haley put the wine bottle on the counter and turned around. "You said you guys, as if service workers were inferior. That's who you are. I don't accept apologies from someone who only thinks I deserve respect when they find out I'm related to the person in charge here." Harley's face turned red. She looked at me. I shrugged. "She's right. That wasn't a bad day. That was your character." She left, but not in silence. On the way out, loud enough for customers to hear, "That's why I date up. At least successful men understand class." Haley burst out laughing. "She just insulted you while trying to get back with you." The really fun part? Mutual friends started getting Harley's version. According to her, I'm classist towards successful women, insecure about the fact that she earns well. Let's be clear. Harley earns about $75,000 a year. I own 3 profitable restaurants in Dallas. Her money was never a threat to me. Yesterday, she posted on Instagram, "Sometimes you only know someone when they show their true colors." Haley commented, "True, like when they show how they treat waiters." Harley, by accident, pinned this comment, only realized and deleted it when it was already too late. I took my sister to dinner last night. She deserved that comment. It was too good. Final update. 2 weeks since the last update. I thought this was over, but not totally, though it's close. First, the email. Yes, Harley has started sending emails now. She sent one a week ago, right after Haley's comment on Instagram. Subject, reflection and understanding. It was long. The summary, she said she reflected on our different upbringings and concluded that we are incompatible due to class differences. Not that she was wrong, just that we have different values about service dynamics. She suggested that maybe I'm too working class to understand that maintaining standards isn't the same as being cruel. I replied only once, "Harley, this isn't about class. My parents were servers, and I'm proud of that. I'm proud of what I built from that foundation. This is about respect. You don't respect people for who they are. You respect them for what they can do for you. You were kind to me because you thought I was your equal. The second you saw someone you considered inferior, your true character appeared. I don't want someone who is only kind conditionally. Do not contact me again." Her response, "You'll regret this. Good luck finding someone who understands your lifestyle." I didn't reply. But then comes the most absurd part. Last night, I was having dinner at a steakhouse across town. No, not one of mine. It was Miller's, that old-school Dallas place. Over 30 years old, very grassroots. I was there with Brent, my partner, talking about expanding to Fort Worth, sitting in a booth in the back. And who walks in? Harley, of course, accompanied by a guy in a suit who screamed, "Finance bro," from a mile away.
They sat down 3 booths from ours. I told Brent to ignore it. We were in the middle of the conversation when I heard, "Excuse me, I asked for no ice." The same tone, the same condescension. Their server was a young guy, probably a student. He apologized and reached out to take the glass. Harley pulled the glass back. "I'll wait for a new one and see if you pay attention this time." Brent's eyes widened. He had already heard the story, but seeing it live was something else. The finance bro laughed. "Babe, take it easy on him. He needs to learn." Harley replied loud enough for surrounding tables to hear. The waiter brought another water and took the order. When he walked away, I heard Harley again. "I swear, the quality of service has dropped everywhere. Remember when people took pride in their work?" The irony of that being said inside a restaurant where everyone was clearly working hard was absurd. The guy said something I couldn't hear. Harley laughed. "Exactly. Like, if you can't handle basic tasks, maybe you should look for another job." I watched the waiter. Young but totally professional, taking it all in silence. Calm. Reminded me of Haley. The dishes arrived 5 minutes later. "Excuse me, this steak is overcooked. I asked for medium rare." "Sorry, can I ask the kitchen to remake it?" "No, I'll eat it anyway, but you should tell them to pay more attention." The steak was perfect, medium rare, spot on. I could see it from my table. Brent leaned in. "Aren't you going to do anything?" "It's not my place anymore." But then I saw the manager approaching their table. An old-timer, one of those who probably worked at Miller's since before I was born. I heard only bits. "Is everything okay here?" And Harley's voice explaining several problems with the service. The manager listened, nodded, and then said, "Ma'am, I saw your waiter bring 3 different glasses of water because you changed your mind about the ice. I saw him take your order while you were on your phone, and I checked the steak myself before it left the kitchen. It is perfectly medium rare." Silence. "I'm going to ask you to pay the bill and leave. We don't tolerate abuse towards our staff here." The finance bro tried to complain. The manager cut him off immediately. "I've been here for 32 years. I've seen every kind of customer, and those who treat staff as inferior are not welcome back." Harley's face turned red, almost purple. She looked around and saw me, watching from across the room. Our eyes met. I raised my glass slightly and gave a small smile. She looked ready to throw her wine glass at my face, but just grabbed her purse and stomped out. The finance bro threw money on the table and followed. After they left, I called the waiter over. "You handled that very well." He laughed, a bit shaky. "Thanks, I was almost losing it." I put a $50 bill in his hand for the trouble. Brent shook his head, smiling. "What are the odds in Dallas?" "Higher than you imagine. The restaurant community is small." Before we left, I stopped to talk to the manager. "Nice job." He shrugged. "Can't let anyone treat my guys like trash. It kills morale." Then he looked at me closer. "You're Cameron Reed, right? Owner of those Italian places?" "That's me. I heard what you did for your sister. Respect." We shook hands. Driving home, I thought about what Harley wrote in that email, that I am too working class to understand certain things. She's right. Actually, I am working class. My parents are working class. Haley is learning the business from the bottom up, on the side of those who actually make it happen. And I'm proud of that. Haley's officially promoted to assistant manager training at Resos. She's shadowing the night manager, learning scheduling, inventory, the whole operation. She still takes shifts as a waitress twice a week. Says it keeps her grounded. In the romance department, I'm dating someone. Met her 3 weeks ago. She's a vet. She went to dinner at Resos after a long shift. I noticed her before she noticed me. She thanked the waiter by name, asked how his night was going, left a 25% tip.
When the napkin fell on the floor, she picked it up herself instead of waiting for the waiter to do it, even though he was right beside her. That told me everything I needed to know. We've had 4 dates. Last night, she asked about my family. I told her about my parents. She smiled and said, "That must be why you treat your staff so well. You understand." I do understand. As for Harley, I heard from a mutual friend that she is still with the finance bro. Apparently they connected, complaining about lazy workers and entitled service. They deserve each other. My father called me last week. I told him the whole story. He was silent for a moment and said, "Your mother would be proud of you. I'm proud of you. You didn't forget where you came from. That means more than any relationship ever could." Thank you for following this journey, Reddit. And if you're reading this and you work in public service, you are seen, you matter, and you deserve respect. Period. Edit. As many people asked. Yes, the vet knows the whole story. She laughed and said, "So I passed the test." I replied that it wasn't a test. It's just basic humanity. She agreed. Thanks for watching. Now do the following. Like, subscribe, and comment your opinion. I want to know what you would do in this situation.